Hello, plannerets. How are you? May is just around the corner, and if your head is already starting to feel full, today we're not setting big, overwhelming goals. We're just going to choose a few simple goals that actually fit your real life. That way, you can feel a bit more steady going into the new month. If you are ready, I am ready. Let us go. How are you, my dear plannerets? For those of you new here, why, hi there. I am Marianne, and on this channel, I share simple planner ideas, habit tracking, and gentle ways to reset your week on paper. Now, if you are joining me live, make sure to say hello in the chat. And if you are new here, let me know, what planner are you using? Is it an A5, a personal, traveler's notebook, Hobonichi, or even if you're still trying to figure it out, let me know in the chat. And of course, if you are watching on replay, you can let me know too in the comment section. Let's go say hello to a few people. Some early birds. I love it. I love it. We have some early birds already here. So let me go through. Now, these are not in order when I come to my comments box, but make sure to say hello. Hello there, Brenda. Nice to see you. Thank you so much for joining. Happy to be here today. Hope you are all doing well. Cindy, hello. Nice to see you. Thank you so much. Happy Plannerets. Happy New Week to all. Irene is here. Hello, Ginger. Nice to see you. Susan, I think, was first or second. Hello, Susan. I hope you are well. And everybody else is saying hello to everyone. This is what I love. I actually got a little bit, teary-eyed before we started because I was seeing all these wonderful plannerets of ours already here. Dandria said on the community post that she will be here, and here she is. Hello, everyone. So I appreciate you all being here. And now make sure throughout the session today, I would love for you to participate. It is very welcome. There is no pressure, but I do love participation in the chat and, of course, as well in the comment section. So I'll come back to the chat and talk a little bit more and see how we are all going. Now, yesterday, during my walk, I was listening to a podcast, and I like listening to Mel Robbins' podcast. And so it was, I think the most recent episode she had was about goal setting. And it actually, she has 5 steps, and a few of the steps already tie in nicely with how I create my goals in my planner. So today I'm not following her full method. I'll make sure to link that episode in the description. So if you wanted to listen to it properly, you're more than welcome to do so. But what I'm doing is I'm bringing in some of the ideas that made me pause and think, I don't always do that part. And so what we're going to do is we're going to layer that into my usual wheel of life goal setting. So now here's the thing. About 61% of people who have watched my videos in the last 90 days are not yet subscribed. So if that's you and you enjoy calm planning sessions like this, I would love for you to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss the next one and you don't miss the wonderful chat that we have going on here right now, as well as in the comment section. All right, so let me show you my desk. This is my Wheel of Life goals tracker. And so this is based on Zig Ziglar's Wheel of Life, where he talks about 7 key areas of focus for a nice balanced life. So I have here 7 sections. So in no particular order, he says you should be doing something for your mental, physical, spiritual or mindfulness, home or family, financial, career, and social areas of focus. Now, I'm not going to do all of the 7 areas today on camera. I'm going to focus mainly on 3 areas that I feel are important to me right now, and then I'll review the rest off camera. Okay, so what I'm going to do today is I'm going to go for each goal in the following very, very simple steps. So if you're doing this along with me, you can follow along. We'll do it step by step. So you can either have similar goals or seek similar key areas of life that I'm doing, or of course you can pick your own. So for each goal, we're going to go through what area needs attention. So which of those 7 areas are we going to do? What is actually the goal that we want to achieve? Now, this goal is going to be for May. I don't try and create goals too far in advance, just because that's the way my brain works. And I know with all the different changes that I'm going through, I don't want to set myself too high expectation or too long a range date that I know for me personally, that if I'm not reaching it, I tend to, catastrophize things and say, oh, I haven't achieved my goals. All right. So this is for the month of May. Now, we're going to talk about why this matters. So that's sort of part of Mel Robbins' 5 steps to creating goals, is you need to know your why. Okay. And we need to make that goal that we create for ourselves small and doable, and make it easier or more enjoyable. Who wants to do work, hard stuff? Of course, we're not going to achieve it if we deem it, not enjoyable. Okay. And also I'm going to make sure to show you how I'm going to check in later on in the month. Now, as I go through each one, as I said, I will ask for you, I'll ask questions, and so you can think about your own goals too. And then, of course, make sure to participate in the chat and tell me, what goals you're going to set along with me. And of course, if you are watching me live right now, I am streaming in both the vertical, so that's good for your phone, in the vertical stream, as well as the horizontal. So if you are watching on the vertical and you can get yourself to your computer or a TV screen, you can watch the full desk view. I have the link for that stream in the live chat. So, and of course, that is where most of the wonderful plannerets are having a good old chin wag. I'm calling it chin wag. That's what we say in Australia, is a good chatter. So let me know if you are here in the chat, or if you're seeing me on the vertical. Thank you so much for joining. So I have linked that horizontal or landscape stream in the live chat for you. All right, so let's get going. Okay, so I'm going to look at the first key area that I want to create a goal for myself, and that is going to be for the physical key area of focus. So this printable download Wheel of Life, there is versions where I have written down those 7 key areas. There is also a blank version, so you can name your own key areas of focus. So the first one here is physical. Okay, so name what area needs attention. So you let me know, what do you think? All right, this is not set in stone yet. What area of focus is one of your top priorities for May? All right, so again, it's mental. Do you need to do something for your mind, your brain, to get that, brain ticking? Physical. Do you want to do some meditation or mindfulness or self-care? What about for your home or your family? Do you have any goals for that? Finance. Do you want to save or pay off debt? What about your career? Are you working on getting a promotion for May? And of course, what about your connection and social well-being? So start to have a think and let me know if you would like to, share, is what area of focus are you thinking of that you want to focus for the month of May? Okay, so let me get my water. All right, so we've got our first one. Dandria is saying that she would like to look at our financial. Fantastic. I need to look into that because I have dropped the ball on my financial well-being. I haven't been tracking our expenses. So of course, I don't know what's going on with our money, and it's something that I need to go and focus some attention on. But for the moment, my first one is physical. All right. So the next thing we're going to do, step 2, is let's write our goal. All right. So with your goal, well, actually, let me talk about mine first. So my goal for May is to start training properly. I registered myself and my older son, Josh, for a 14-kilometer fun run. Not sure if it's fun because there's a hill. So the run is from city. So I live here in Sydney, Australia. So from the city to Bondi Beach, and it's 14 kilometers. And there is a big hill. So it's not a steep hill. It's just, a gradual hill, but it's a long hill. And that's where a lot of people, struggle. So my goal, okay, so I'm going to use this video stream is not sponsored, but I have partnered up in the past with Pilot Pen Australia. I'm using the friction color markers, so if I do make a mistake, the rubber tip I can erase. And also this is the Pilot friction clicker limited edition pen, so then if I do make any mistake or I do change my mind or write something, I can erase it. So first of all, my goal is to train, okay, train for my 14-kilometer fun run in August. Okay, so if you are planning along with me, let me know. So what is your goal for May when it comes to, so Dandria is your financial area of focus. What is your ultimate goal? So think of it as like your North Star. What are you heading towards? So if you those of you who know me are making a lot of analogies. So if you are right here from point A and you want to get to point B, which is your destination, what is point B? Okay, so if you had to enter it into your GPS, what is your ultimate destination? So that's the second step when it comes to creating your goal. Where do you want to be at the end of May, after 3 weeks, after 2 months? What is the transformation? Okay, so that's first. Well, let me quickly grab this so then we can do it together. All right, so let's have a look. Okay, this is where you are, point A right now before the month starts, and you want to get to point B. That is your goal. Okay. And by writing it down, not only on paper, but as well as participating in the chat right now, you are solidifying it. So in Mel Robbins' podcast episode, because she shares a lot of this research and scientific fact and studies. So when you write things down, or in our case today, if you're typing it in, that is the extra steps. You're stacking on layers on to help you, retain the information. It's like a stamp to say, all right, I want to get better at my financial goal. So excellent. Dandria is, I need to have an emergency fund. Wonderful. Okay. So we have, for me, physical. Dandria is finance. Okay, so me is to train. Okay, so for me to be ready for my fun run, And finance for Dandria is emergency fund. I love it. Right? So that's your goal. Hello there, Sheila. Nice to see you. Thank you so much for joining. We're just doing our goal setting. All right, so that's step 2. That's easy so far. That's not too hard, is it? If that's not too hard, give me a thumbs up in the stream, in the live right now. Okay, step 3. Now, this is the bit that sometimes I forget to note down when it comes to creating goals. So this is the part of Mel Robbins that I went, I know we need to have a big why, because if we don't have a big why, it's just a dream, it's like, oh, I would love to have an emergency fund, or hey, I want to get ready for a fun run. Okay, the more examples you put in the chat of your goal, then I can, relate to it for you. So what is our why when we want to get, train for a fun run or have an emergency fund? All right. So this is the part I don't always slow down for. Why does it actually matter for you to reach this goal? Right? So, what is your big why? Okay, why? So what? So what if you have an emergency fund? Well, what's the point? So what if you if you train? Why do you want to train? Okay, so I want to train. Well, first of all, the goal is to have to be ready for the fun run, but ultimately, my goal is to feel stronger. I want to build consistency again. And I also want to feel prepared and not rush for the fun run. So, my ultimate why in training for a fun run for August is, well, to be ready, but ultimately is I want to feel stronger. It's one of the things they tell you when you're going through the perimenopause journey is you got to look after your bones, you got to look after your heart health, you got to look after, the nutrition, because I am at an early age now to be able to do all of this, right? I don't want to wait until I'm 60, 70 or 80, and then if I have a fall, I haven't prepared myself. So that is the reason why. So I know when back in 2017, 2018, when we did get ourselves out of debt, and then we started working towards building up our emergency fund, is if and when something happens, and we know things will happen, people lose their jobs, there's the good old, COVID and everything shut down. What is it that you need to make sure that you have money for if and when an emergency come up? Because the money actually, so it's not about the saving up the money, it's the security. So that could be your why. All right. So I want to have security, no stress if, the heater bus or the car, doesn't work or whatever. I want to be able to have the security and the peace of mind that if I need to spend $100 to fix something or use money for an emergency, I have it there. Okay. So why? Okay. Why does it matter for you to create this goal? Sometimes a lot of us create goals because, oh, it's the beginning of the year, or it's in my planner. There's a page that says that I have to fill it in, but we're not actually thinking of the reason why this matters to us. Okay. And also, I think in Mel Robbins, she talks about why it matters to you. Not this cannot be someone else's goal for you. So let's just say this is just an example. This is not for me, but let's say a partner of yours says you need to lose weight. Okay, that might be also your goal, but if someone is forcing you or stressing you to lose weight, you're not going to want to do it. It needs to be why it matters to you. All right, so Dandria says, okay, so why prices, health insurance going to be too expensive by 2027, and I want to still be able to enjoy life. That is a great why. And if we have that always at the forefront of our mind, when it does get a little bit tougher to reach our goals or to do those goals, we got to go, why am I doing this again? Oh, yes, I want to be healthy, especially for myself. There is a history of hypertension, high blood pressure, strokes in my family. The women in my family, some of my aunties, and one of my grandmas, died young, in their 50s and 60s. And that is why it's important for me to be healthy. And one of those I'll say fun ways to do it is to do a fun run. All right. So the next one, make it doable. We can't just suddenly go create a big goal for ourselves that's too hard to achieve. Okay. I'm not going to set up a huge plan. So this is for me. Let me see if I can zoom in a little bit. Okay. So what sort of steps can you do daily, weekly, monthly, that you can be consistent in? That, again, we talk about the small actionable steps that's small enough that it's so easy to do. Okay, so for me, I need to train maybe 2 to 4. See, I'm just putting 2, so then that way, if I only do 2, I'm not going to go, I failed. All right, so give yourself a little range. So don't just say, I want to save up $100 a month or a week. Say, if I can save up between $40 to $80, give yourself a range, so when it is a little bit tougher time to save more, you're not feeling, because sometimes, even though we know we don't want to be 0 or 100, one or the other. But I know for me, mentally, if I don't reach that number, sometimes I can be hard on myself. So give yourself a range, okay? So have a range. Well, for me, it's 2 to 4, okay? 2 to 4 workout. For Dandria, it might be, $5 to $15 a day, or whatever it is, or $20 to $40 a month. Okay, so give yourself a range, so then that way, if and when it's a little bit tougher, you're not trying to reach too high. Okay, so for me, it's 2 to 4 trainings per week. Train per week. All right, so do this along with me if you're doing your goal setting as well. And of course, if you are watching on replay, do it the same time as me, because a lot of times we know in our head, I need to do that, but it's more fun to do it with others. Okay, I love this. I can start stocking up on things and try to put $20 aside. Fantastic. Okay, I know this Miko from the budget mom. Yes, the budget mom has a every time she gets a $5 change, $5 note, she puts that aside in a jar. Okay, could be as small as that. Or every time you get here in Australia, we have $1 and $2 gold coins. So that could be every time you get a gold, $1 in change, put that in the jar. Tiny little things help. Or I know there's some apps or some things where it whatever transactions you make, it'll round up. So let's say you spent $4 on something, it'll round up to the nearest 5, and that $1 goes into your emergency fund account. Make it the next step is make it fun. All right, so another one for me, so make it doable, is walk. Okay, get outside. So that could be another step. Okay, so have a think. All of these things we're doing now, it's not set in stone. This is just brainstorming. All right, and then it's like your little bags of tricks. It's like, oh, I can't save $50 today, but I can save my $1 coins, I spent a little bit more today, so tomorrow I'm going to make my lunch. Okay, so we're just brainstorming. And then another one is, if I can get one strength training, okay, in those workout, then it'll be good. One, strength training. Okay, make it doable. All right, so you're planning along with me. So if you're just joining us live, I'm going through goal setting. If you missed the other 3 steps, it's okay. We've got 2 more goals that I'm setting for myself, and I'm taking you along with me so then we can brainstorm together for your goals as well, just like Dandria and I are doing right now. Okay. Well, sometimes these goals and these steps, they're boring, right? They're not sexy, they're not exciting. So we need to make it exciting. We need to make it easier. Or actually, so we need to make it easier and fun. Okay. So we cannot rely on motivation, because a lot of times motivation is there when it's stuff we want to do. So for me, ultimately, I don't want to really be working out. Okay, it's not the most sexiest and fun things to do. So we gotta make it easy, and we gotta make it fun. All right. So for me, the steps that I can take. Okay. So make it. What is it? Make it easy. So I can prep my clothes. Okay. Get my clothes ready. Okay, that's gonna make it easy. I also like to put my running shoes where it's visible. So I actually don't put my running shoes away often. They get put away because Zach, my younger son, is on the autism spectrum, likes everything to be in its place. So I'll be like, Zach, where's mum's shoes? And he's put them away. So that's lovely, but I actually keep them out so then it's visible and it reminds me to, put my shoes on and get outside. And then I need to choose simple workout. Simple workout. There's no point me trying to do a 45 to 60-minute cardio. I'm not a big fan of jumping, burpees, jumping jacks. Actually, I do like skipping, all right, because I've been doing that. So that's something easy. But I don't want to do anything that's just like, feeling like I'm puffing after 2 minutes. Okay, so I'm going to choose simple routines, and I'm going to track it in my planner. Track in my planner or in my tracker. Okay. So, how can you make it easy? If you're trying to save up money, take your lunch to work. Prep your lunch. Okay. So, Dandria, what sort of other things can you do that'll make it easy? Make sure you're having your proper meals. Okay. Hang on a second. Okay, so make sure, you're having proper meals. So then you're not feeling hungry and then picking up something along the way. Because I've done that. It's like, oh, I'm so hungry. Let me just pick up a takeaway that's, $15. And then, of course, they got to buy a drink. And now you've got a meal for $18. And a lot of the times the takeaway food is not as yummy as the food you cook. And you only eat half of it and you throw, away. So what sort of things can you do to make it easy for yourself to achieve your goal and then the steps you created? Okay, so I'm loving this. So Dandria and I are going to have a freaking fantastic May because we're putting stuff in place. I can focus on using more coupons, which help me save to add to the emergency fund. I love it. I should take more note of the different coupons, the different discounts that are at the end or at the back of grocery receipts. Also, don't go shopping hungry. Okay, one of the things I remember from when we were trying to get ourselves out of debt and having emergency fund is have a shopping list when you go to the grocery store. So you just go straight there to pick those 5 items instead of, going up and down the aisles, perusing, popping stuff into your trolley. Okay. I love that. Okay. Oh, wonderful. We've got Sheila participating. I started getting outside and hanging laundry online to get outside. I love that. Oh, I wish we had a backyard or a little courtyard where we do have I can get some sunlight, but I live in an apartment, or the apartment that we live in doesn't have a balcony. There's no little courtyard. So I do remember actually it was actually looking back now, hanging the washing on the line back when I was at home with mum and dad and younger brother and as a teenager. Putting the washing on the line was actually an enjoyable task or enjoyable chore. So that's something, yeah, that I do miss. Excellent. Yes, two birds, one stone, doing chores, getting yourself, hey, and hanging things on the line. That's a workout. Sometimes we forget that, chores, vacuuming, cleaning the bathroom, cleaning the kitchen, right? You're doing the wax on, wax off, wiping the countertops, vacuuming. They are all workouts, and they also actually count towards your steps goal. So if you have physical as your one of the key areas of focus, don't dismiss doing chores. All right, that's movement, right? You're not sitting down on the couch popping chips and lollies and chocolates in your mouth, because you are actually moving. Well, here we go. A good one from the budgeting mama. Okay, shop your fridge, freezer, and pantry first. Yes, when we were trying to get ourselves out of debt, so when our husband and I were, looking at grocery and watching our spend, was, as Irene said from the budgeting mama, is shop your cupboard, shop your pantry, shop your freezer. There might be, mince meat frozen at the back of your freezer that you can make spaghetti bolognese and, meatballs or whatever. So shop first. That's what we actually did. We sat every Saturday, we looked through, we pulled everything out, and then from what we have, what meals can we make with the pasta and the spaghetti we have, with the chicken, that, right? So I love that. Big thumbs up for that suggestion, Irene, for those who have finance as one of their areas of focus. I love it. Okay, so make it easier, make it fun, make it enjoyable. So make it a game. Do you know why we get so hooked on our phone, and every time those, pings and notification, our brain craves this gamification? And a lot of researchers, a lot of all these marketing people study our brain to figure out how can we get them addicted, right? So gamify your own goals, whether you want to, and this one is more of for my self-care, but crossing off, bingo. All right, so maybe you can put just draw a 5 by 5 little grid, and then every time you save $5, so you can put five, $1, $10, whatever denomination, and when you save that, color it in. I think I have it on here. No, it's on this one. So saving, building that savings muscle as well. That one of the fun things I like to do is my 52-week savings challenge. Okay, just saving one of these denominations every week for 52 weeks, which becomes a year. You put aside 1,378. So sometimes it's not so much the amount. So if you can't save $37 a week, halve it, or just $1 a week, because sometimes it's not the amount that stops you from saving, it's the habit. Okay, that's why doing small actionable steps to begin with is building your habit muscle. All right. Here we go. So, oh yeah, I have fun creating meals with what I have on hand. Excellent, because that is a game. So, what can I make with these ingredients, right? You can be your own little master chef or iron chef at home while you're watching, while you're shopping your own pantry and fridge and freezer. It's like if I was in a game show, what can I make with these three ingredients and what I already have in the cupboard? Okay. In our household, I'm not the cook. Hubby is the cook. So I'm very fortunate that he enjoys cooking and that's he's the one who does the shopping and the cooking. All right. So how am I going to make sure I am on track? In my planner printable, okay, so I have a mid-month check-in and also an end of month because it's all well and good to go and create these goals at the beginning of the month, at the beginning of the quarter, at the beginning of the year, and then if you fall off the wagon and you go, oh, I've failed, that's it, I'm stopping, I'm not doing it anymore, okay, and then when in actual fact you might be missing on the great progress you've made. So maybe you didn't save $100, but you saved $10. That is still progress. So it's important that we also check in on ourselves. So I have created a mid-month check-in as well as an end of month because I know if you're like me, we look at the things we didn't do, we look at the steps we didn't achieve, and then we feel bad. But yet we don't look at the progress. If we were at start A, okay, this is where we are at the moment, which is the now, and this is our goal, and then we go, oh, I didn't save $100. Yeah, but you saved 60. Yes, but you saved 10. That is still more than what you were when you first started. So this is why it's really important to go and track where you're at, see your progress, and celebrate the small wins. Okay, so put it in your calendar already on the 15th of May and then the 30th of May. See how much progress I've made with my goals. Okay, so yes, oh, that's a brilliant idea, Irene. Okay, do a pantry challenge. Make only meals for what you already have on hand. Exactly. Create your own little game show, Iron Chef, like, or Master Chef, whatever cooking channel or cooking show you like to watch. Gamify your whatever your goal. So for me, I'm going to, what I'll do is I do have a tracker for my walks. So a little shoe or sneaker icons. So I'll color in every time I either get myself outside or I do some sort of workout or some sort of movement. In the past, my brain only thought that I have achieved a goal if I have achieved it in totality. So if I, said that I'm going to do 3 workouts, but then I only do 2, in the past, my head would go, that was a fail. We got to change that. Same thing for Dandria. If you have a goal, an amount set, or how many times you want to save, and you don't achieve that number, it's important that any sort of savings is a win. That's why it's important we do a range. We create a range, okay? So how are we feeling? All right? That's just one goal. All right. And remember the goal that we create for May, or if you're doing your goal setting as well. And this is where in Mel Robbins' podcast of her 5 steps to creating goals is, it doesn't have to be a big goal like, Dandria and I are doing, the physical or the financial. It could just be reading, my book for 5 minutes each day. It could be actually carving out time in my day to sit outside and enjoy nature. All right. don't think that goal setting, because we have in our mind goal is like, beginning of the new year resolution, quarterly goals, that it always has to be this big, grand setting. It can be the tiniest little thing that, each and every day, or, each night, that I clean the kitchen counter before I go to bed, or I do my skincare. I know if Margie's watching later on, skincare was our goal for March, back in March, and she's still continuing that goal because she's getting traction. As for me, I'm I'm getting better. Okay, so I haven't failed. I'm getting better. I'm on my way to getting better. All right, I love it. Okay. So Dandria says, I'm going to set the goal, track the goal, check in at the middle of the month so that I'll still have until the end of month to complete the goal. Exactly. Because a lot of times, okay, we may fall off the wagon. We didn't save 1 week. We didn't save for 2 weeks. But we don't have to wait until a new month again begins to get started again. All right. So really important. So for me, one of my top focus is physical. So if physical is something you're focusing on for May, I'd love to hear what you're working on. Okay, so we have today in our example, we've already done physical and financial. All right, so by the way, these pages that you are seeing, it is the Wheel of Life Goals Tracker. I have the mid-month check-in and then also the end of month. Okay, so then that way we are on top of our goals. They are part of the Ultimate Planner Bundle printable that I have. So that is actually what I'm going to use for the month of May. So if you've been here a while, you know me, I like to change things up because it's important, because my brain, that's the way my brain works. My brain works that I need to have constant changes to keep myself entertained and to keep myself on track. So if the way you plan and the way your brain works is always the same, that's fantastic. But for those of us that always change our mind, it is not bad. It's just we got to go with the way our brain works and the way that works for us. Okay, so I have that the Ultimate Planner Bundle printable link in the chat as well as in the description if you want to check that out. All right, so are we ready for another goal to set? Okay, so if you're along with me here, you can do 3 goals, you can do 1 goal, you can do 2, you can do 7 if you want, but sometimes seeing someone else mind work is like, oh, I can do that too, because it might be that one missing step that the why, for example, that I know I'm not always on top of. So it's really important. And yeah, so you can also check out my store, mariannecrest.com. All right, let me just, before we step into the next goal, let me have a sip of my warm coffee. All right, so again, please note when you're doing your goal setting, they don't always have to be huge goals. Okay, so what area of focus needs attention for yourself? So have a think, okay? Mental, physical, spiritual, finance, career, social, and family or home. Out of these 7, what's another area of focus that you want to, be mindful or intentional of doing something for the month of May? So for me, the next one is my mindfulness. So spiritual. Okay, so that could be for you. You might want to, if you're religious, you might be wanting to read your Bible script, or read a Bible passage each morning. So spiritual can be both religious and or mindfulness. Okay, so for me, physical, mental, spiritual. Okay, so that's the area of focus. So let me know in the chat, what area would you like to focus on as one of your priorities for the month of May? Okay, so step one, what area? Have a think. So we already have physical, we already have finance as an example from Dandria. Next is my my spiritual well-being, which is my mindfulness. All right, so nice. Step one is so easy. Which area? Step two, write the goal. So what is my goal for the physical? Okay, so let's turn this and, all right, so at the moment I am in point A. Okay, this is now, and we want to get to point B, which is our goal. Okay, so at the moment I know my spiritual and mental well-being. I am in my head too much with limiting beliefs and negative talk. So I know for me, one of the things that help me get outside of my own head is to focus on something else, like my deep breathing or meditation. So my goal for May, as part of my spiritual area of focus, is to get back into meditating. So this meditation is like, for me, at first, when I heard of meditation a few years back, I thought it was the cross your legs, right? That could be for you. I'm not against that, but that's what I thought was meditation was all about. And you know, the little chime or bells or wind chimes. Okay, that is one form of mindfulness, one form of meditation. So mindfulness really is about focusing on the now instead of thinking about the past or the shoulda, woulda, couldas, or think about the future, especially for me, with two young men now, an 18-year-old and my younger son who's on the autism spectrum. You worry about their future. Who will look after them if my husband and I are not here? So I can freeze up, okay, when I think of those things, as well as think about the things I could have done. I should be further ahead. Why don't I have this? Why don't I have that? Why haven't I achieved this? And that can play a big part in freezing me. So I want to get back into meditation. Okay, so that's the goal. So my goal, okay, so write this down with me, is not get back, is meditate in the morning. Okay, so that's my goal. What do I want to do? Okay, I am here now, not meditating. Goal is to meditate. Okay, meditate in the morning. Even if you have to get a piece of paper yourself, if you are a visual learner, you can see things a lot better when it's visual rather than just trying to think it in your head. Get a piece of paper. Do exactly what I'm doing. Okay, this is your now. This is your goal. And then we figure out what are the tiny little steps that we need to take to get to where we are and to get to our goal. That's all what we're doing today. Okay? Have a think. GPS, okay? If you are at home, where do you need to go? I need to go to the birthday party of, whoever, my son's friend, okay? Where do I need to go? Well, I've got to put the address. That's the goal. How do I get there? These are the steps, right? Get the keys, grab the keys, turn left, turn right, go around the roundabout, past that traffic light. These are all the tiny little steps you need to do to get there. You don't want this, okay? You don't want one step or just say meditate in the morning, because that's a big jump, okay? That's huge. Whee! Okay? Oh, that's too hard. Meditate in the morning. Oh my God. I don't want to do it. I'm tired. I slept in. That can wait, right? There's so many things that will get in your way. So we now need to, first of all, why it matters, okay? Because if we don't have the why, it's harder for us to go back to that reason. Because then if I go meditate in the morning, I don't want to do it. Oh, well, I won't do it. But why are we doing it? Okay, why? Why, Marianne? Why do you want to meditate each morning? Because I see the benefits of me practicing having something to focus on, which is the deep breathing. Breathe in, breathe out. That's something I can follow, a small step by step to make me stop. Oh, okay, acknowledge how I'm feeling. I'm scared. I feel like I'm lost. I feel like I'm no good. I feel like a bad mom. I feel like I'm not a supportive wife. Okay, that's in my head. If I don't do something about getting myself out of my head, I'm going to freeze. I'm going to sit on the couch. I'm going to cry. I'm not going to do anything. And then what good am I going to be for my loved ones? That is my why. Find out your why. Why do you want to get from here to here? What is the reason? Why does it matter? Is it because everybody else does it? Well, if everybody else does it and that's your why, that's not a strong enough reason. Why does it matter? Say hello to Ronnie Cat. Hello, nice to see you. Thank you so much for joining. I appreciate you being here. Okay, so if you are here in the live chat, please don't be shy. Make sure you say hello. Where are you tuning in from? Are you prepping or setting your goals with me? Right, so what is your why? And like I said, this step here, I listened to Mel Robbins' podcast about, goal setting, and I know this the why, but sometimes I don't write it down. I just go, well, I wrote it down last month. I wrote it down last year. I meditate because it's in my tracker. That's what I wrote last month. So I'm going to write it again, but then I don't go back to my why. If I don't meditate, I know I've seen the consequence. I get stuck in my head. So even if it's just 3 deep breaths, right? So then we're going to talk about the next step. 3 deep breaths, or I use Headspace as the app to help, because there's just 2-minute, 1-minute guided meditation, and that meditation is just really focusing on your breath. Meditation for you or mindfulness could be sewing, knitting, Sudoku, crossword puzzle, color by numbers, coloring pages, reading, because it takes you out of your head, takes you out of thinking about the past or the future, and in the moment. And that's just what mindfulness is. The opposite is mindless, right? You're doing mindless thing is just you're doing stuff without really being intentional about it. Hello, Silence Deluxe. Nice to see you. Thank you so much for joining. Tanya, Tanya, let me know. I appreciate you being here. We're doing our goal setting. All right. So why does it matter? So what is the next area of focus that you are wanting to have a goal or achieve? Once again, they don't have to be the big grand old, right? For me, it could be meditate in the morning is just a 1-minute deep breathing. And again, that is going to be enough. So what's my why? Did I write my why here? So I'll make sure to write my why. I forgot to write my why. So why it matters is it doesn't freeze me. It helps me be kind to myself. Okay, so the next step when we're creating our goals is make it doable. Don't have big grand goals and then just leave it at that. Okay, so really important. I'm not aiming for long sessions because sometimes long sessions bore me, and I was like, oh, I'm like, oh, yawning, and then my mind wanders. Okay, so the make it doable. So the small actionable steps. Okay, I'm not aiming. So maybe have a range again. So maybe 2 to 5 minutes. Okay, or in the morning using my app. Okay, so it's 2 to 5 minutes and use guided app. Okay, so that's step 4. What sort of things can you do in the area of focus and the goal you have created? And you now know your why. We now need to go and figure out what tiny little steps can you do to get to your goal. Okay, so for me, 2 to 5 minutes. Use my head per day. That's per day, and maybe I'll be happy with 4 to 6 times a week. Okay, so not about getting 100%. It's about doing small from 0 to there. Okay, if I do 1, that's better than 0. If I do 2, that's better than 0. That's better than not doing it at all. Sabrina, nice to see you. Thank you so much for joining. I like that definition of mindfulness. Yes. So a lot of times when I was trying to, figure all these different things when it comes to well-being, self-care, mindfulness, those terms get thrown around. And I went, what does mindfulness mean? When I first I ran 2 plan with purpose courses a couple of years back with my plannerettes, and I was doing things but I didn't know the reason behind it. Well, because I like to know the why. Here we go. That's why, because when you know why you're doing something, you have a purpose, right? So what's this mindfulness thing? It's like, oh, it's just taking you out of your thoughts and having a focus. So one of the things, when it comes to mindfulness, so let me just quickly have a read of Sabrina's and your suggestions of what I can do, such as breathing, color, etc. Yeah, because we just think mindfulness, meditation, I have to cross my legs, I have to go, right? No, it's just what can you do to help you focus? Even cleaning is also a mindfulness, right? So that's one of the resets. Is if I do 5-minute cleaning, because I have to concentrate. I'll make sure that the grout is all clean, and the bath, the sink taps are all nice and clean. Wipe down the counters. That's a mindfulness activity, because you have to focus in the moment. You got to grab the spray. You got to grab this. So yes, your thoughts might sort of wander off again, but then you got to go, okay, what's next? Oh yes, the mirror. Okay, so it's bringing you back to the moment. And I did have a thought, but then it left me. Hopefully it'll come back. Okay, but it had something to do with mindfulness. So yeah, it'll come back. It'll come back. All right. So yeah, many different mindfulness activity. It doesn't just have to be meditation or deep breathing. Those are just easier stuff, because focusing on your breathe in, air going through your nose, holding it, and air going out. Breathe in again. All right. And you can do it while you're waiting at the bus stop, while you're waiting at the traffic lights. You know how when you do the, that's why we exhale. I think I've got, bear with me. Hang on a second. I'm just going to go. I think I've got a parcel coming. Bear with me. Thank you so much. I have an Amazon delivery that I didn't pick the time, but it's like 4 a.m. to 8 a.m. And I knew they would deliver it while I was live. And one of those things is for my goal number 3. So I'm excited. So thank you for allowing me to take that little break. Okay. So we got to this part. Make it doable. Okay. So for me, just 2 to 5 minutes a day. Use my guided app. Okay, and just 4 to 6 times a week. It's not, I don't have to do it every day, but I have fallen off the wagon when it comes to my meditation. Okay, so look, meditation here. Okay, only once last week, and then before that, didn't even do it. And so, what's the result? The result is I've been feeling lost. I've had limiting beliefs. I've had doubted myself. So it's not the thing that will stop my limiting beliefs or negative thinking, but it helps me get out of my head. Okay. So when it comes to goal setting, it's important that we think that, oh, once I've done all of this, hey, I'm going to be saved. I'm going to have lots of money, or I'm going to be stronger. It's about doing the reps, putting the reps in each and every day, each week. All right, so really important. Faloni, how are you? Thank you so much for joining. Hello everyone. Is this your first time? Let me see if this works. Hopefully it works. No, it doesn't, because I didn't set it up. All right, so let me see if I can do this. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining. I appreciate you being here. Let me know, Filoni. Let me know if I said your name correctly, okay? Hopefully you enjoy the company of the plannerettes in the live chat. We're just doing our goal setting. So yeah, make it doable, make it easy, and have a range. That's the thing that I sometimes forget. I'm thinking that I got to meditate each day, and then I only do it 3 times, and then I feel like I'm a failure because I didn't do it enough. And it's like, no, have a range. So if and when you don't have the energy, you don't have the capacity, it's okay not to have done it today, but make sure to pick it back up as soon as you can. Okay, so having that range is really important. All right, so then the next step is make it easy. Well, I have the app. I paid for an annual subscription for an app. It's there in my fingertips. Or I can do, set myself an alarm, or put a little post-it note in front of my desk. Meditate this morning. Why? Right? Because we know our why. Because if you don't, you get stuck in your head, and then you're going to go, midway by 10:30, and things aren't working out, and you're stressed and you're hungry, and then suddenly these thoughts come into your mind that go, I'm not good enough, I'm terrible, I'm crap, and all these mean things that I say to myself that I would never ever say to anyone else, but my head is talking. The reason for that is because I have built the habit for the last 20 to 30 years, okay, of talking that way to myself. So it's going to take a little bit of time for me to change that, right? This is 20, 30 years of thinking that if I don't, do something 100%, that it's a failure. And that could be too, the school system, that, the grading, the ABCs, right? Or, the high distinction credits is, when you achieve a certain percentage, but then if it's 50% or less, that's a fail, right? And it's like, it's been ingrained, in our generation, that certain percentages are failure. In this case, anything better than zero, any steps better than zero is still a small step progress. Okay, so really important that we keep that in mind. Make it easy. I've got the app reminder, and just keep telling myself, why do you want to meditate? Why do you want to do mindfulness activity? To help myself be kind to myself, to give myself grace, to say to myself, I'm doing a good job. You know, one small step is enough, right? So really important. And again, of course, mid-month, I will check in. So throughout May, I'm going to take you along with me on check-ins, how I'm doing with the different goals that I have set for myself. Okay, so you can see as well how I'm doing. And I will tell you now, you will see me not do it perfectly. And that is okay, because it's also being aware is also part of the process. If we just turn our head and not even acknowledge it, then, we can work at it together. All right. So really, really important. So let me know, what is one small habit that you may have, fallen off the wagon with, that you would like to pick back up for the month of May? So for me, it is meditation, right? So really important that I get back into it, because I know the benefits and how it helps me. And my big reason why is give myself grace and kindness, and know that whatever situation I'm in, I'm doing enough. Okay, my days are not going to be always happy. My days are not always going to be perfect. I'm not always going to have 100% energy. Okay, so let me know in the chat. Have a think. Is there anything that you would like to pick back up, a little habit for the month of May that you'd like to come back to? So mine is my meditation. Okay, right. Okay, so the thing is, I think a lot of us already know the habits, right? So if you're like me, who have a habit tracker, okay, as you can see here, I felt a little bit lost in April. I'm aware of it. I'm taking the necessary steps to get myself back on track with goals I didn't do, or new goals for the new month. Okay, so a lot of us already know what helps us. We know the things we would love to do, need to do, and a lot of us know we have our why. We just need to come back to it, and then just start, very small. It's about a restart, not catching up, not feeling like, oh, I missed that, so I've got to go and do it now. It's just, no, just start from where you are right now with just the little things. Okay. Whew, that's 2 goals. Where are we? We're an hour in. This is your prompt to have a drink of water. So let's take a nice little breather. Is this live? Yes, it is. Jackie, hello. Nice to see you. Thank you so much for joining. It is live. Jackie, if so, hello. Welcome, welcome. Let me give this a well, hey, welcome. Thank you so much. I did have a nice, and of course I don't have my sound effects on. Hooray, hooray. Way! Thank you so much for joining, Jackie. It is live. I am here in Sydney, Australia, and it is Monday, the 27th of April, and it is 6 a.m. and I've been going for an hour. We've just done we have been setting goals for the month of May. I've done 2 goals already, and I'm just going through the different steps, small actionable steps we need to do to, make sure we are setting ourselves. So I've done little drawings. I love analogies. So if you are new to my channel, hello, I'm Marianne. Okay, so, but if you are liking this stream and you're getting ideas on how to set those small goals for yourself for the month of May, you can even start right now. So I'm not going to wait until Sunday. I can put these things in place right now. If you're on your Saturday, Sunday, start now. Unless it's evening and you need to go have a sleep, Start the next day, okay? Don't wait for a Monday. Don't wait for a new month. Don't wait until you get, the outfit or the new shoes. Just start with whatever small little things you have. So Filoni says, um, my tiny habit I'd like to come back to is drinking hot tea on a regular basis. I love tea and I love how it makes me feel and how versatile it is. Well, first of all, you've done all the different steps just in that little chat there, Filoni. So you talked about what the habit is. So what your goal is drinking tea. Why? Okay, because you love it and you love how it makes you feel and how versatile all the different flavors of tea and the small actionable steps that you can do is on a regular basis. Maybe let's, when would you like to drink it? Morning, afternoon? When we create the small actionable steps, let's break it down even more. So then it's like if our brain's not working, if we are tired, right? We go, oh, that's right. I said when the first thing I do to when I wake up is drink water, make my tea. Then you have the guide. It's like your little manual. It's not that you don't know what you need to do. It's when we don't have the energy, when we don't have the capacity, when we don't want to, it's so easy to follow because we've already set ahead of time that we go, well, in the morning when the first thing I wake up is I'm going to drink a glass of water while I'm making my coffee, and I'm going to do my stretches. So those are the things we need to. I know I've fallen victim in when I'm just going, I would like to exercise more. Well, when? I'm sure a lot of you have heard this SMART goal: specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time sensitive. Okay, but today we've just broken everything down. First time and first 5 minutes subscribing. Yay! Thank you so much, Jackie. Oh, I love that. Big heart. I appreciate you so much. Okay, so now again, if you are watching me, hello, on the mobile stream, which is the vertical version, and you want to see the full desk view and you're not trying to strain your eyes if you're like me and getting on and your glasses you need new glasses, and if you can get to a computer or your TV, you can join us as well, where most of the chat is happening in the horizontal stream, and the link is in the live chat of the mobile version. All right. So before we keep going, I just want to have a little breather. I've been going for an hour. So the planner printable I'm using is the Ultimate Planner Bundle Printable. Now, there are two versions of it. This one is the notebook version. So when you print it, you just fold it in half, an A4 size paper, and then you staple it. I do have videos showing how I construct my notebook style printable. But let me show you a little flip through of the planner bundle printables and the pages that you get to it. So let me show you that, and I'm going to have a little sip of my coffee. So these are the pages that I'm going to be using for the month of May. So you will see them on my Monday. So here I'm in Sydney and it is already Monday. So on my Monday, for most of my viewers who are in the US, it's your Sunday afternoon or evening. So every week I go live to do different plan with me on my whatever the pages. So you don't have to have the same printables or planner pages as I do, because pretty much you work on whatever planning system you have. But if you do need a printable, or you like me that like to change things up, this is the Ultimate Planner Bundle. The link's in the description as well as in the chat. So because May is on Sunday, I'm going to be showing up more often this week, because I'm going to set up all the different pages. So if you need a unique company, then make sure you come and join me. A felony, like a crime. It's okay. I get felony. Pronounced like well, what was I saying? I think, what was I? Felony. I was saying, wasn't I? Felony. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that so much. When I know when people don't say my name properly, that thank you. Now I have to try and switch my brain. Felony. Felony? It's okay. I get that all the time. But yeah, this is important that we need to speak up, because I know in the past I have allowed people to, say my name. And look, at the end of the day, it's okay, if it's a one-off. But felony. So let me see. Felony. Okay. Felony. Like I have to do this visually. Felony. All right. I've got it. Okay. Thank you so much. I appreciate you for saying that. And anyone else whose name, because I know sometimes names are so, pronunciation is, so many of us say our names differently. So thank you. I appreciate that. No, not harsh at all. Confident. Let's say that, not harsh, confident, and with conviction. I love it. I love it, felony. All right, like a crime. We're gonna all we're partners in crime and making sure people say our names properly. So mine is Marianne, because sometimes it's Marion or Mary Ann. So there we go. I love it. I love it. What have we got here? So Dandria, jigsaw puzzles. I like getting up at 5:30 with my coffee and working on my puzzle while it's quiet. It's relaxing, mindless, and it's my quiet time. It's actually not mindless, it's mindful, because puzzles, you need your mental capacity, because you have to look for the correct pieces. So your brain is actually focusing in the moment. So let's switch up that. It is a mindfulness, and because you enjoy it and it's quiet time, it's a nice self-care. Silence Deluxe says, I catch it now. You combine the new layout with your self-care pages. Yes. So yeah, each for probably the next few days I'm going to be going live. I don't know when, because I have to catch those opportune moments when it's because we homeschool our younger son. He's on the autism spectrum. For those of you new, he's 17 years old. So my husband's the one doing the homeschooling. And so when they're out on their outdoor adventure, when they're not here, because his homeschooling desk is just behind the camera. So of course I can't be talking, and I don't want to impose on the homeschooling time. So when I catch the opportunity when they're out, I'll probably go on. So make sure you hit that subscribe and hit the notification bell. Yes, mindful. Yes, we have to make sure. So where are we? Let's get back to the last goal. So if you've just joined us, I'm doing my goal setting for the month of May. I've already done 2. So I'm focusing on top 3 areas of focus. I base my goal setting based on Zig Ziglar's Wheel of Life, that he says, you should be doing little things in 7 key areas of focus. So that's mental, physical, spiritual, family or home, finance, career, and social. Okay, so the next one, yes. Here we go. This is why I love this. Plannerets community of ours. And this is why I encourage chat and engagement, is because something someone says might go, I want to do that too. So Jackie says, what Dandria said with puzzles, this sounds lovely, something I would love to do. Exactly, because a lot of times we go, I wonder what what can I do? And then you go, oh my God, I haven't done puzzles in a long time, and that is something that I enjoy. So there we are, Dandria. You have been an inspiration as well. So this is why it's important to go and engage, because sometimes you might get bored with hearing what I'm saying. It's like she said that last week, but then when someone, shares, it not only gives us inspiration, but when we are sharing sometimes maybe the heavier stuff that that we're not feeling good, that we're feeling lost, that we don't feel alone, that we are seen. And so if ever you want to be seen and don't want to be lonely, come and join the chat, because this is what it's all about. This is why I've created this space. All right, enough chatter. Let's go to my third and final goal that I would like to set on camera. Others I may have a look at the areas of focus. All right, so how are we going? Are you feeling good? Let's take, actually, before we get to the next goal setting, let's take a deep breath in through our nose. Hold it, and out through our mouth. Relax our shoulders. So anytime you feel your heart rate speeding, sometimes when our heart rate is beating fast, our brain can read that as stress, and it'll switch on our amygdala, our fight, flight, or freeze, and think that we have to run away from something, we got to fight something, or we got to freeze. So, and so slowing our heart rate and relaxing our shoulders is signaling to our brain, everything's okay, we're all right, we're amongst friends, nice company. Marlene to Eileen. Yes, the budgeting mama is Irene. Yes, so anywhere from Marlene to Eileen. Yeah. Sometimes I don't mind if it's a passerby, but yeah, when amongst friends, we want to make sure we address ourselves in the name that we want to be called. Okay, so whatever it is, you tell me. Some people don't want to share their real names, and I'm fine with that as well. All right. So yeah. So what was I up to? What needs attention? Okay. So goal number 3 for me. This is for me. Have a think of yours. Now, for me, the other one that I would love to do, so this is more the mental and creative thinking. So I'm going to use blue. So I'm going to use here. So we'll say mental / creative. Okay. So that's the area of focus. Okay. So have a think. Think for yourself. What area of focus do you want to be intentional and be a little bit more focused for the month of May? Once again, mental, physical, spiritual, home or family, career, finance, and social. So that's connection. So if you're feeling isolated, if you're feeling lonely, what would you like to do in the month of May? Would you like to, send a text to a friend, FaceTime, catch up for coffee, or send funny videos? Those are part of social connection. So if that's something you're feeling a little bit isolated, that could be an area of focus that you want to focus on. So for me, so far, my physical, my spiritual, so being mindful, and my mental and creative well-being. Dandria says, yes, I did them all winter long. I started with 500 pieces and worked my way up to 1,000 pieces. Oh my God, I would love to do puzzles, but with a young son who likes to put things away, and sometimes when he has challenging behaviors, he will destroy stuff. So puzzle is not something, and we only live in a small flat, so I can't store it away. But yeah, I would love to do puzzle because I see all these, big puzzle pieces. Oh, so I love that for you, Dandria. All right, so my third one area of focus is my mental and creative well-being. Okay, so have a think. What are your another goal or another area where you would like to, be intentional with? Okay, so this is my little drawing. Again, because I am such a visual person. So this is A, where we are right now. Okay, and B, what is our goal? What do we want to get to? What's our GPS? What's our destination? If you are thinking, let's do another visual here. Okay, so let's just say, oops, I've run out of. This is one side of a river. Okay, let's do blue. Okay, blue, 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 blue. All right, there's a river. Okay, you're here and you want to get to here. So for me, I am here and I want to be creative and do something that will keep my mind busy. So I want to get back into singing again. All right, just singing at home and maybe recording a cover. So back in my younger days, part of the school choir. I was the school singer. I did weddings. I competed in karaoke and talent quest, and did a few gigs here and there. But really, it's more fun for me now. I was never really into it as a career. I don't know why. The way my brain works was no. You got to get into a job that uses your brain. So I did economics at uni, business studies, government economics, and statistics. Boring stuff. Maybe that's why I'm making up for it now with all the creativity. Slightly colored paper. Hey! Oh, hello, Raven. Um, Thank you so much for joining. I appreciate you being here. Yay! Welcome, welcome. I did have all the I forgot to program my stream deck button to have all of this come up. Thank you for joining us. I appreciate you being here. So I clicked on this live just now because I saw a slightly colored paper. Was it made with markers or sticky notes? I'm so curious. I love colored paper. So yes, we are doing planning, we're doing goal setting, and if you see my desk and behind me, I have markers. Let me see if I can show you. This is my normal desk setup. Okay, got my planners, colorful books, colorful papers, markers, and I have many more. So yeah, we're doing our goal setting at the moment. So it's lovely to have you here, Raven. Where's my yes, Raven, excellent. Felony, I think I said that. Yeah, Felony says, at my local libraries, they're laying out puzzles for visitors to do, along with checking out puzzle sets with a take a puzzle and give a puzzle exchange. I love that. I need to visit I need to, let me note that down. I need to visit my library more because, yeah, they have visit library more. I know Erica, who's now one of our plannerettes that join us here in the live chat. One of her suggestions when I get lost in my own head is, get outside, change environment, maybe do my planning in the library or at a cafe or anything like that. So thank you, Felony. I'm going to see, where is it? Visit library more. I love it. Okay, so yes, it is fun when you realize you can be so creative in so many different ways. I love that, Ronnie Cat. Yeah, so in the past, there's certain things that I say, like I'm not good with colors, I'm not good at drawing, and I have to stop saying that because I can get better if I just practice and do more. All right, so the goal that I want to do for the creative, and again, if you're writing goals for yourself for the new month, this is how we're doing, is where are you at? So this is where you're at now, and what is your goal? So for me, my goal, let me write it down. Step 2, write the goal is, where's my pen? Is to sing more and record cover songs. Cover cover, cover songs, cover songs. This is just for personal, you know, it's not to go out there. Although I do sing a little, like a 10-second bit on my Instagram stories from time to time, or in my Instagram. So if you follow, if you're on Instagram, I'm there also as at Marianne Cress. All right. So I want to get back into singing again and record covers. So for yourself, if you're thinking of mental, okay, as the area of focus, so this one is for me, mental, um, well-being. I'm going to put / creative. Okay, so that could be, you could be reading, doing a course, learning how to sew, learning how to crochet, learning your colors and color combos. That could be, if that is one of the areas of focus you want to do. But if you can also do other things, all right? So the step one, what's the area? Step two, write the goal. Now, this is important. Again, the reason why this sort of like spurred me to do this live stream is I was listening to Mel Robbins' podcast yesterday on my walk. She talked about her 5 steps of creating goals. And I do it for mine, but I forget more times than not is the why. Why are you wanting to achieve this goal? Okay? What is your reason? It needs to be just like it's the SMART goals, specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, right? So the realistic part of this creating SMART goal is it your goal or is it someone else's goal for you? If it's someone else's, you're never going to stick to it because it's your why needs to be strong enough that it'll help carry you through for when you don't want to do it, or you're sick, you're tired, you have no motivation, you have no discipline. You need to have that big major why. Okay, so, or let me have a look. Dandria has another goal. I love this. So one of her goals, finance, is emergency, build up an emergency debt. Another goal is get back into volunteering. It lifts your spirits. You get a chance to get out of your head and laugh and help others. I love that. Is this your goal, or your giving us suggestions? Because that is a brilliant goal. That is a great goal and connects to the social, or the social part of Zig Ziglar's 7 key areas of life. And being amongst other people helps lift you up. Okay, so what is my why? Why do I want to sing? Why do I want to go and record? Okay, so like I said, this one is going to be more personal. It's something I used to love, or still love, but I'm not doing as often now. And I haven't made a space for it in a long, long time. So I don't want everything in my planner, right? When I'm doing my planning, I don't want it all be task, 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 email, appointments, task, task, task. Okay. I want something that's in my week that is just for me, that I love to do. So have a think about this. Is everything in your planner right now, or that you're going to plan for the new week, for everybody else? Is it appointments for the kids, for work, for the house, projects? Is there anything in your planner or in your goal setting that is just for you? We need to look after ourselves, and we need to, as Marie Kondo says, bring spark back, right? Spark back into our planning, into our daily life. So what sort of things can you think of that is just for you, that gives you that intrinsic reward, that if nobody else sees you do this, you have accomplished something that brings you joy? Okay, don't just put goals that's, I mean, I know physical and spiritual, they're all me stuff, but you know, they're not, like I said, they're not the sexiest, they're not the most exciting thing, and they feel like that sometimes they're hard work because, you know, I really have to make sure I put in the effort. But singing is something that I enjoy, and I haven't made space for it. I know, like, when because my son, the younger one, is on the autism spectrum. When he has challenging behaviors, one of the things I used to say when he was in the school system, public school system, mainstream system, was get him to sing, because when he's singing, he's breathing, right? And that's calming. That's going to help slow down his heart rate. That's going to switch off his nervous system, not thinking he's in a fight, flight, or freeze, right? Because sometimes when we go to tell his name is Zach, when we go breathe in, breathe out, he'll just go breathe in, breathe out, right? He'll just go through the motion. But when he's singing, you have to take in deep breaths to be able to sing, right? So that's actually, not only is it creative, for me, it's also going to help my nervous system that most of the time is always on alert, that I'm always feel like I'm stressed, I'm panicking, I'm lost, I'm unworthy, right? And I'm in a survival mode. So what can you do? What can you add into your goal setting and in your planner that's just you, that you enjoy, that is not a chore, that is not the, when you look at your planner page and go, ugh, I don't really want to do that. It's all like, oh, I get to do that. Okay. So that is my why, because it helps, brings me joy. It's something I enjoy. And it's something I know I am good at, and it's not tasks or responsibilities. Okay. So that's why I am doing it. So what steps can I do to get to my goal? All right. So this is the goal. Where is it? Sing more. Okay. La 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 la. What can I do? If I just leave it at that, that is a big jump. Okay. So I need to create, this is my little analogy, is to create, stepping stones. Okay. Little stepping stones to get me from one side of the river to the other. So I want you to visualize this image when you are creating your goal. Because remember, picture's worth 1,000 words. Yep, that's right. That's the saying. Okay, so when you're creating goals, where you are, where you want to be, what are the tiny little steps you can do to get there? That'll make it easier for you on a day-to-day basis, on a week-to-week basis, on how to achieve your goals. All right. So what I'm going to do, so sing more and record a cover. All right. So what can I do? All right. So the steps that I'm going to make is choose 2 songs for me. Choose 2 songs. Okay. Now I love singing Whitney Houston, Barbara Streisand, Celine Dion, who are else the powerhouse singers? I think not so much Mariah Carey, because I'm not very good. Hang on a second. I'm not very good with my runs. I won't do it. But yeah, so but I'm only 4'10" 3/4, and I do belt out those power ballads, and I love doing them. But so I most likely will start with some of those my go-to songs. Okay, so I'm going to choose 2 songs. All right, so have a think. What sort of things can you do? Little stepping stones, small actionable steps that you can do to achieve your goal, to get to your goal. Maybe I'm going to practice 1 to 2 times per week, 1 to 2 times per week. Okay. So I need to have those steps put into my planner. Just record rough versions. Okay. So earlier I had to quickly pause and mute myself and buzz Amazon because I purchased one of those sound barrier things for my mic. Okay, so that'll be fun setting that up. So record rough versions. Okay, so I am going to not be perfect, record rough versions. Okay, what else can I do? And aim for 1 to 2 finished songs by the end of this month. Okay, so that's going to be fun because then I'm going to want to learn how to. I think I installed GarageBand, which is a virtual mixer. Don't know anything about mixing, but we'll learn. That's the fun bit. Okay. Yes, Kelly Clarkson too. Let me quickly have a look at the chat. So Jackie says, it sounds so nice to have coffee and a quiet, engaging activity to wake up to. Thank you for sharing that you do that. And to go from 500 to 1,000 pieces, how much progress you made. Yes, so Dandria shared earlier that she loves doing puzzles in the morning, and it's her nice little mindfulness activity. Hello there, Tracy. Nice to see you. Did you say hello earlier? Did I miss you saying hello earlier? How are you? Yes, I also love Kelly Clarkson. So a lot of her songs are more power rock. And so they're, like punchier, as in the, I don't know the terminologies. I've never had, well, I've had singing lessons back when I was 15, but I didn't enjoy it. I don't like doing things I don't want to do, and so that's why I need to make sure I bring some fun back into my planning days. All right, so so aim for 1 to 2 finished recorded songs, and so really the whole point of doing the singing and recording is when I was younger and I was school singer and did some singing and talent quest. This is showing my age, which is, I don't mind, I'm 51, when I did the singing lessons, the teacher recorded this song with the backup track, and my mum and dad played that tape to everybody. And so I want to be able to give them, an audio recording of an updated version. I don't know where that tape has gone now, but I think the first song that I recorded with a backing track was Bette Midler's "Wind Beneath My Wings." So I may reprise that song. No, I didn't get a chance to say hello. That's okay. But I just wanted to make sure I didn't miss your you popping by in. She got some good slow songs. Yes, she does too. But I think it's just my brain, just the classics. Felony says, I need to designate time for me by getting out and visiting the library by myself on a weekly basis. I'm starting a new industrial sewing job tomorrow, so this is more imperative now. Yes, it's important that you do some stuff for yourself, and that is a brilliant idea. See, it's even inspired me to go and see, there we go. I'm going to visit the library and might take you along with me and just do my planning there, set up some of my planner pages there, change of environment. So I love that. You plannerettes, for those of you new, I call my lovely, wonderful, people, my peeps, the plannerettes. Actually, one of you plannerettes call that, or term that terminology. Whatever, my brain, it's probably going hungry. Okay, so make it doable. So what steps do you need to take? Small, tiny, actionable steps that it's so easy to get you to your goal. All right, so you need to write them down. If you ain't writing them down, you're not going to remember, because all of these, the things we are writing down now, easily we can do it, keep it in our head. But it's when we tired, sick, feeling mentally, emotionally drained, with no energy, low capacity. These things, the reason why we write them down, right? The reason why we have trackers is when you are not feeling well, when you're not 100% sure, your brain has switched, the cognitive thinking or the decision-making part of your brain has switched off. Why? Because it's in survival mode. It's going to switch everything off, right? And so it's like you need to have a guide. What is it that you can do when you're not feeling? It's like, okay, What does my planner say? All right, my planner says to get outside. Have I got outside? No. Do I want to get outside? Not really, but I better because I know it's going to help me feel better. Okay, that is the reason why we write things down. Not because we don't know what we're doing, it's because we are future proofing ourselves for when we can't think anymore and we're tired, angry, sad, frustrated, or can't be bothered, right? That's why it's there. Let's have a look. Oh, Dangia, I just saw the first one. If you don't mind me sharing, once I finish the puzzles, I glue them and frame them. The smaller ones that are 100 to 200, I glue them and they are given as birthday or Christmas gift. What a brilliant idea. Yes, I've seen people like glue them, flip them over, glue them, but and frame them. That is a great present. And I don't mind you sharing. I love it because this is the things that we need to do. We need to share. Sometimes, we don't have time to think for ourselves on what different ideas to give as gifts or presents. So thank you for sharing. Let me see. I do have this one. This one, is it this one? Oh, and I did have an R, but of course, all my things are not on him. But yes, so that one. Oh, here we go. Oh, thank you for sharing. I really love that. Thank you. And this is what our community is all about. Okay, so make it easier. All right, so how can you make it easier? For me, I'm not going to put any pressure on myself to be perfect. Okay, so if I hit a note that's not right, maybe I'll just record only 10 seconds of something. All right, so for me, I'm going to make it easy by not putting pressure on myself. Even maybe rough recording is going to count, because sometimes when I'm in the past, when I would sing and practice, and then I was like, oh, there was a note off, then I would stop. Okay, and I'm going to make it easy for myself by just saying that showing up is enough. All right, so whatever goal you're setting for yourself, make it easy, make it enjoyable, make it fun, make a game out of it. Go and create little bingo cards, create a page in your planner, draw up some grid, put whatever, and just put, walk, 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 stretch, if this is for your physical, or if you're saving $1, $5, $2, $10, $20, right? Gamify it and make it fun. Really, really important. Yes, that's exactly. Dandria's little suggestion is kind of cool. I saw someone tape the back of puzzle and put it in a large binder. See, look at us. Look at us, Brain Trust, sharing all these great ideas on how to put fun in our day. All right, so you made it easy, and then of course it's important that we check in. So I have a mid-month check-in. So this printable, the Ultimate Planner Bundle, has a mid-month check-in as well as an end of month, because we need to see how we're going. We need to see our progress, not as a pass or fail, not to see if we're doing well or not. It's actually the opposite. It's to show us the progress we've made, because sometimes we just look at the missed opportunities, the missed days, that I didn't do it today, when in actual fact, yeah, you may not have done it for the last 2 days, but you did it 3 days in a row last week. Okay, so checking in and the progress is very important. So mid-month, end of month, throughout the week, just to say to yourself, I got wins. All right, I clocked in a win today. All right, so what habit would you bring back? So is there anything that you enjoy that you haven't done in a while that you may want to, puzzles, singing, going to visiting the library? Okay, we've got some wonderful ideas. Drinking tea in the morning. All right, so let me know, those that haven't shared yet, what is something you used to enjoy that you'd like to bring back into your May? And for me, you will know if you're going to follow me, let's just do one day at a time, 1 week at a time, 1 month at a time. Because frankly, my head sometimes will go, I can't even think. I'll go into the kitchen and I don't even remember why I went to the kitchen. So we gotta simplify it. What habit would you like to bring back into your life that you haven't done in quite a while? Okay. So again, if you are enjoying this live stream, make sure to hit that like button. And of course, if you are watching on replay, you know I love seeing your comments. I do have to reply to a few that I haven't done so because I enjoyed my weekend. Actually, little story. Wednesday and Friday, I was hyper focused. I spent the whole day doing nothing else except one little thing. Have you ever had where you do something and then I don't know if this is the symptoms or the things with ADHD. I'm not diagnosed, but I do have tendencies of it, and they say if you have a child on the spectrum that you might have a touch of neurodiversity in you. So I saw something and I went, oh, let me look into that. Looked into it, and then I needed a power adapter for it. Couldn't find it. I spent the whole day looking for one power adapter that I never found. However, I did get to clean up and declutter along the way. So 2 days, 2 different days where I was hyper focused on one thing only and dropped the ball on the rest of my tasks and to do. So that's what I was doing. All right. So those are my three top focus, all right, for the month of May. So physical, I am training for a fun run, a 14-kilometer fun run. Okay, there we go, ready for a fun run in August. I know Dandria is going to want to work on building her emergency fund. Okay, so my why is because I want to get healthy, stronger, as well as be ready for the fun run. So that's my physical goal, one of them for May. The other goal that I want is to start meditating again in the morning. This is just breathing. I'm going to follow an app on my phone to make it easy. Why? Because I know how much it helps my emotional and mental well-being, that I don't get stuck in my head with negative thinking and limiting beliefs. So that's my spiritual, which is meditation. And then mental or creativity is I want to get back into singing and just enjoying, bringing back something I enjoy. Okay, so nothing extreme, nothing overwhelming, just things that's going to support how I feel, as well as my physical, mental, and creative well-being. The other things like finance, yes, I need to get on top of that. But if my mind and my mental and emotional well-being is not, looked after first, everything else won't matter, because it's just, if my mind is always in survival mode, everything below that will be harder. So I know all of this three will help me get in a better frame of mind, and I won't feel as lost. I won't feel as low. I won't feel as sad. I won't feel as self-deprecating and be hard on myself. So really, these three, they're under the umbrella of being kind to myself, giving myself grace and compassion. And things may not be the way I would want, but things are, look at the positive. Look at the small, tiny little wins of my day. Look at what am I grateful for? What are the good things that are happening, instead of focusing on the things that may not be going well. Okay, so those are mine. So if you are watching this right now and you go, what's going on? I would love for you to watch the replay, go through it with me. You don't have to have 3 different areas of focus to set. You can just start with one, especially if you are new to goal setting or if you can only carry one main focus for the month of May. All right. So you're not just writing goals or forgetting about them, you're writing them down. You have a place to go back and flip through and go, what was it again I was supposed to do? Oh, yeah, I just got to do 2 to 4 training per week. That's it. Simple. What do I need to do? How can I make it easy? Get my clothes ready. All right. Choose simple, easy workout. Track it in my planner. You writing it down, this is your manual. This is your guide. You know how your washing machine or your dishwasher, you get it new, you that manual, still in the plastic, you pop it in the bottom of the drawer. But when something goes wrong, you need that manual. You go flip through to the troubleshooting section, or you might have to go online. I flip through to the troubleshooting. Have you checked this? Have you checked that? This is like your manual. This is like your guide. You may be able to know all of this when you are 100%, you've eaten, you've walked, you've slept, nothing has gone wrong. You might just go, right, meditate each morning. Ooh, easy, easy. But then you wake up and you're sick and you go, let me have a look. Let me have a look at my planner. What did past me say I should do? Okay. So now if you have had, if you got any question, let me know. Can stick around for a little bit of Q&A, or if you have had aha moment, or if there are steps that we went through that maybe you aren't focusing on, put that as well. What is an aha moment for you from today? Type them in the chat or in the comments below. I see someone new. Hello, Marielle. Nice to see you. Well, you look amazing. Yes, I had my hair cut because I had a haircut probably a few weeks back to this length from, past my boobies, right? And then I cut it because it was just, I was losing, my hair was snapping. And then I wasn't doing much with it because it was sort of like that mid-length. Now, I have had this haircut in my, look at all my grays, in my mid-20s, early 30s. So I have had this haircut in the past. It's sort of like inspired by Zendaya's new shorter haircut. And I went, oh, that looks cute. So thank you for saying I look amazing. Irene says, is the Ultimate Planner Bundle available in standard traveler notebook? No, because it's just, it'd be too narrow. And so this is the Ultimate Planner Bundle is only available in A5 as well as the A5 notebook printable. But if you do have Happy Planner Classic or letter, all you got to do is change paper size and maybe change printer setting to either fit to printable paper or fit to paper. My goodness, Marianne, and that was definitely an amazing change. When you have a good haircut, well, first of all, what do they say? What's the difference between a bad haircut and a good haircut? They say 2 weeks, right? Let it grow out a little bit. But when you have a good haircut, when you wake up in the morning and it's all messy, and then you look in the mirror when you go first thing in the morning, you go, oh, I'm looking cute today. So that's what I felt like, because I remember when I first had my haircut back when I was 15, and I had, normal straight Asian hair, and then I got it cut like real short. And I remember my mum, I've told this to my mum, but my mum goes, you look like a boy. And I went, oh, that's not. It's like, thanks, mom, and so, but I think just my face structure, I like the short haircut. Thank you so much for that. All right, so my question is, what is one goal you're taking into May? All right, so I have 3 here, but probably, and they're all individually very a high priority for me. But if you only had one goal to focus on, be intentional for the month of May, what would that be? And remember the key areas of focus: mental, so anything for your mind, learning a course, learning a skill, doing Sudoku, puzzles, knitting, anything that keeps your mental mind active, because you need to keep your brain active and keep using it, because if you don't use it, you may lose it, right? So that's for us younger people. Sometimes we don't think about these things, but it's important we get in the habit of doing something for our minds, so later on in our years, dementia, Alzheimer's. I won't quote anything because I don't know any of the research, but they say keep your mind active and teach it new tricks. All right, so mental, physical. Are you doing anything for your physical well-being? Adding more movement, getting outside. Your spiritual, whether that's mindfulness, meditation, reading Bible passages, writing Bible scripts. What is it that you can do for your spiritual and mindfulness? We've got finance. Are you saving for an emergency fund? Are you keeping an eye on your spending and tracking your expenses? Are you saving for something exciting for the future? We've got your career. Okay, what are you doing for your career to make it fun, not necessarily advancement or promotion, but what can you do to make sure that when you go to work, it's something that you not necessarily enjoy, because some of us, we have work that we may not enjoy, but what is it that you can do to ensure that while you're there, you are keeping yourself alive, right? We talked about finance, and then social. If you're feeling lonely, if you're feeling isolated, guess what? Being here right now in the live chat, you are doing something for your social connection. You are being amongst people that, typing in the chat, and you are seen, you are heard, you are not alone, and know that you are doing enough. So what is one goal you're taking into May? Keep it simple, and, like I said, if you found this helpful, make sure you give this video a like, and of course subscribe if you haven't yet. So then that way, this next few days, I'm probably most likely going to be popping on live, because I need to set up my planner pages for the new month. Okay, so now what if you can't, you're there thinking, Marianne, goals? What are you talking about? I don't even have time for goals yet. I'm not even ready to think about May or goals or planning for the, because my head is still too full. Okay. If your head is still too full, I have a video and I have it linked. Start with the brain dump. Okay. Get things out of your head and down on paper. This video here, it's a 6 minutes and 22 seconds long. So it just goes through what you can do to get things out of your head, down on paper. So give yourself that space to clear everything before you even try to, whether to plan your week or to set new goals. All right. So if you go, my head is nowhere near setting goals, Marianne. Hey, lady, what are you talking about? Head is full at the moment. Make sure to do a brain dump, or if you're watching the vertical, it's below here. The link is in the description. And of course, really important, just clear the mind. You can't start from a good place when it's all cluttered. All right, so take your time with your goals. So okay, take your time with your goals, and don't rush. You don't have to create big goals. It can be the tiny little thing like drinking tea in the morning and enjoying a nice cuppa. All right, they don't need to be perfect. They just need to feel right for you. All right, so let's have a look at the chat. Those are beautiful topics and choices. Those you can add in the wheel of life and mid-month check-in, right? Yes, you can. And so, throughout the whole month, I'm going to show the pages. So then when I do it, I'll take you along with me. All right. So, D'Andrea, for my financial goal, I know there are a lot of content creators that have cash stuffing, sinking funds videos. That would be great help to me. And so I think I have a few few expense and budgeting videos somewhere. So I'll have a look and try and see if I can, because yeah, when I started this channel, I think we already got ourselves out of debt, and so but there's still some expense tracking videos somewhere along the way. All right, so thank you so much for joining. Make sure you take your time with your goals. Again, they don't have to be perfect. They just need to feel right for you. So I'll pop here later that brain dump link. So if you're still cluttered at the moment, make sure you get things out of your head and down on paper. And I will see you all in the next video or in the comment section. Bye, everybody. Bye.